evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education of Homewood School District 153. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Buffet, Mr. Booth, Mr. Bosch,
Present.
Mrs. Polkappa, here. Mr. Schmidt,
Here.
Mrs. Scully,
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Here.
five present.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting of December 15th, 2025. Are there any edits or corrections to the minutes? Now, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next is future dates.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Just a reminder that next Monday, a week from today, is Dr. Martin Luther King Day, so we will be out of school, closed for that federal holiday. And then at the end of the month, on January 28th, we have an early release day. So students will be going home early on the 28th. The staff will be in meetings in the afternoon. And then also a reminder as we get into February, and this will be before our next board meeting, we are closed for Lincoln's birthday, not President's Day. We've gone back and forth and done it both ways in years past, but that will be Lincoln's birthday recognized this year, which is on February 9th. So we'll be closed on that day.
Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is we have a couple of presentations this evening.
Yes, Ms. Johnson, if you could come forward first. We are excited to recognize several athletes from James Hart, all of whom are seated up in the front here. And we are going to start with an individual to begin with. So at this time, Nia, if you could come up with Ms. Johnson. So why, you ask, are we recognizing Nia? We have in our midst an incredibly talented young lady. Last spring, we had the Illinois Elementary School Association, the IESA, which is the state organizing body. They hold their annual track meet each May. And Nia not only won a state title, she won 2 state titles. She is a 2-time state champion in the 200 and 400 meter dashes. And even more impressive, Nia, tell me, is this 100% accurate? Not only a state champion, a state record holder in those events? Amazing. So to put that into perspective, anyone who has ever won the event, she has the fastest time of all previous winners. State record holder in the 200 and 400 meter dashes. That's really, really incredible, Nia. And we are thrilled to be able to bring you here and recognize you at a board meeting, which is being recorded, so anybody and everybody in the future can see your beautiful, shining face. All right? Congratulations to Nia. Ms. Johnson, do you want to say a few words?
Just real quick, plaque presented to Nia Branham, IESA state champion and state record holder, 7th grade girls 4A, 200 and 400 meter, 2025.
Nia, we're going to get a picture of you if you could just come right up here in front of the...
Family and friends too, please.
Yes, family, friends, everyone come on up.
We'll do the family.
Family first.
Kim, you can get it. So family and friends.
Family and friends.
Yeah, then we'll get a picture. We'll make sure we don't get this. Ralph, you guys want to say yourself?
Okay, how about you, family? Just family. And then we'll get the 4 of you on. Okay.
One more picture. Mr. Schmidt, I have.
You're one seat over.
And again, congratulations, Nia, that's a really amazing accomplishment. We're also thrilled this evening, many of our board members, if you look out to the faces you see seated in the front row, you recognize them because about 52 weeks ago, this same group came and joined us. This is our 8th grade girls basketball team, and most recently, about a month ago, they were recognized as a top 4 finisher at the state finals. So that's the 2nd year in a row that this team has finished in the top 4 in the state. The IESA, girls, you may or may not be aware of this, the IESA has over 800 schools that are members of the IESA. They break that down into 4 different classes for basketball, and we were in the biggest class based on the enrollment. And so what you accomplished not only 1 but 2 years in a row is a really, really incredible feat to be one of the top 4 teams in the state. Coach Chris Blankenship and Henry Studley, thank you for your work with the girls. And ladies, if you would like to come up, we can get a picture of you as well. Make sure to get you guys want to get Chris? Yeah. I'll let you get
Oh, yeah.
Our parents gonna take pictures too? The next one, quick. Beautiful. One more. You guys just take the board behind you. There you go. All right, we have other business on the agenda. I'm sure you guys have other things you want to do, like maybe watch Monday Night Football, see when the Bears play next week on Sunday, or whatever the case may be, or homework, or just relax. So if you, students and families, if you want to leave, now would be your time to leave, and we will continue on with our business. Thank you. Congratulations again, thank you.
before I get home, okay? I was literally coaching. I coach at the high school. I got done over there. I'm going to sprint over here and get this done. You're not calling. No. Well, what I told is,
Someone left their jackets. If you're leaving right now, someone left their jackets.
some of them won the 8th grade section with me, so like Hodge and Gavin, so like they pretty much won every trophy that we haven't
All right, moving along, and next thing on our agenda is audience participation. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to come and address any item that is not on tonight's agenda. Come on up. If you could please state your name, please.
Jenny Farley. Yeah, I had a question. I know February 1st is when it opens for anyone who wants to have their child in an accelerated program to fill out a form and submit it to the school. I was just wondering, we've had some run-ins with this process, and I've had some conversations with the new person at Churchill, Zarnicki. Zarnicki, yes, and she was very helpful and told me that the form is actually created by the school board. I have some recommendations and some requests that maybe it'd be very clear on there that it needs to be filled out every year. It was not my understanding when we started the process at Churchill. I think there's a lot of things that have greatly improved since we've even been at Churchill. But I still think that this process is very much a black box for a lot of families, and the form itself is not clear as to what needs to happen in order for your child to be considered for the next level. I believe it's parents or the school, someone within the school that can nominate them. So that's my thought is, how can we make this form easier? I know that there's a big push to get more kids doing accelerated programs that Ms. Peacock has been stating, and so I'd like to make that a little bit easier for parents.
Yeah, thank you. I can actually comment. Just last week, actually, we had a Educational Progress Committee meeting, and this very topic came up. Ms. Zarnicki was there, and Ms. Farley, you'll be glad to hear that your comment was heated, and we actually talked about that very thing. So that's awesome. One of the changes that was made to the form is to mention specifically that it's an annual process and an application needs to happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're certainly welcome. But yes, that information is available on the website, and I think it's important to understand the last thing that we want as a district is for any child to be quote unquote left behind. And so the process is twofold, like you mentioned. A teacher can make that recommendation for acceleration, and if a teacher does not, and a parent feels they can, then they are able to follow up and make their own request. And there's a delay in the deadline, so a teacher has until X date, and then the family has a little bit longer to make that request if the teacher did not recognize them. But just specifically, the request that you made just now has been added.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is anyone else in the audience here to address the board? Okay. If not, we'll move on to board response to questions raised by the audience at previous meetings.
There are none.
Next item is report of board committees and meetings taking place since our last board meeting.
Yeah, so we recently had an F&P meeting, a couple items that are on the agenda for tonight. Main discussion was our submittals from contractors for our roof here at James Hart. So great discussion, great planning, great work done by those that we put in charge outside of the school, definitely from Dr. Trimberger. So excited to see that move forward. Great progress there, and we got quite 8 bids, I believe, 7 or 8 bids for the work, which is pretty good. I think everyone will be pleased to see that. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
I think it was that progress or any, well, Shanta's not here, so.
I was out ill from that meeting, and my other 2 committee members, they're out ill tonight, so.
So we know who case 0 was.
Here, I can pull up the agenda. Let me just see some of the items that we talked about that day, just so we can report out a little bit on it. In progress. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, so the acceleration policy was one of the items that we talked about. We also talked about IXL. If you're a parent in the community, IXL is certainly something that you have heard of. There are, I guess, differing feelings on IXL and its utility. We obviously believe strongly that it has value for our students in terms of helping reinforce the curriculum. I think one of the concerns that has been expressed, and that we're certainly listening to and in working with our teachers to make sure that this is known and understood, is the degree to which it is used as a reinforcing activity as opposed to a primary teaching tool, and also the degree to which it is used for homework purposes. And so just having that balancing, and we'll continue to emphasize with our staff the way that IXL can best be used, but also the conversation that we had at the board meeting was the best way to use IXL and not be punitive about it. I think there's a perception from some that it can be punitive, and we certainly don't want to do that. So better informing parents how IXL is being used. We talked about our ELA staff development, math staff development, special ed. This year, Catherine Zarnicki, again seated in the back right now, and Morgan Consul, our director of curriculum, have done a lot to increase staff development, specifically on institute days and early release days. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that in my superintendent's report. But then also the last thing we talked about was the state accountability system. The state is revising the model. If you recall, a couple of board meetings ago, we actually had a presentation where Catherine went through and kind of talked about the formula used for the Illinois report card and just what a complex, for lack of a better term, algorithm it is. Well, it's getting a little bit more complex. So the state is tweaking that. They just asked for feedback from all constituencies throughout Illinois to come up with a draft that they have presented. The State Board of Education will now review the draft from the committee, and then ultimately they want to send that off to the U.S. Department of Education for final approval. And assuming all of that happens this spring, then this new accountability model will be in effect for next school year. And where families see this is on the Illinois report card. So when you pull up the Illinois report card, that summative rating, that's everything that goes into that. So long story short, they're changing the model and the manner in which they evaluate schools.
Thank you. Might as well move right into the superintendent's report.
Yeah, superintendent's report. So I want to talk a little bit about our institute days. So each year we get 4 institute days where we're actually able to have a full day to work with our staff. You say, well, 4 sounds like a lot. The reality is it's not. It's not nearly enough for what we would like to do. 2 of those 4 days are the first 2 days of the school year. So literally we're in meetings, we're talking, we're welcoming everybody back, and most importantly gearing up for students who are arriving 2 days later. We have one that is in the fall, and then the one that we had on January 5th, 1 week ago, was the 4th and final institute day. And so it's really important to us that we utilize that time as well as possible. This year, again, our curriculum department put in place a lot of different sessions for our staff to attend, the biggest of which, and this is difficult for us to get this time, is vertical articulation. The ability for a 2nd grade team to talk to the 3rd grade team. It's difficult because they're in 2 separate buildings. And on early release days specifically, because we have a staggered start and end time, the Willow staff doesn't have an opportunity to work with the Churchill staff, and the Churchill staff doesn't have an opportunity to work with the James Hart staff. On a full institute day, everyone's on the same time, and everyone has that that entire 7-hour day to work. So that was something that we made sure we put into effect. And then we did a survey of our staff, and they really appreciate that time. So thank you to Catherine and Morgan for putting that day together. I want to let the board know next month at this meeting, we will be bringing a calendar for your approval for the 26-27 school year. We actually have another calendar committee meeting this week to kind of talk about those drafts that we've been tossing back and forth, but we'll bring a final calendar for approval next month. This week is winter benchmarking. If you're a parent, you undoubtedly have seen the newsletters for principals talking about NWEA, and this is our winter benchmark. So 3 times a year we test everybody in August, January, and again at the end of the year to see the progress that they're making. So that's going on right now. Also on Wednesday of this week, I wanted to mention one of the things we've done in response to some of the feedback that we've received specifically with regard to special education is introduce parent meetings on a monthly basis, and there are informational topics that are being shared. Last month, and this is available on demand recording, about occupational therapy and what that means and the services provided in a school setting. This Wednesday at 4 p.m., it is the speech language pathologist for the district. Ms. Zislowitz and Ms. Burr are going to be talking about speech services and what that constitutes in a school setting, but also what it constitutes in a community setting. So I encourage you, if you're able to jump on that Zoom at 4 o'clock, it's in the school newsletters as far as the link, but if not, again, it will be made available on demand if you're not able to see it live. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is kind of a fun thing. So I see Ms. Jones back there with her Bears hat. I got Ms. Peacock's email encouraging all of her students and staff to wear blue and orange today to Churchill School to celebrate the Bears. What a lot of people didn't know is that we had a special guest visit a 5th grade classroom at Churchill. And so there is a class, Ms. Hanson, who is a new teacher at Churchill, right out of college. And she is a rabid Bears fan. And she has had her kids writing letters to the Bears and just encouraging them throughout the season. And earlier this year, her class created, I'm going to mess this up, Ms. Peacock, but her class created a baked potato say it again?
Positive potato.
Positive potato.
Correct.
And they resembled.
The one that she made was Walter Paytater. And sent it to his son, Jared.
Walter Paytater.
Yes.
And she sent that to Jarrett Payton, who's a broadcaster for WGN, and he mentioned it on the sports broadcast. It was cool. He did a call out for Churchill School and Ms. Hanson's class. So anyhow, they've been sending these letters. On Friday, they received notification that one of the Chicago Bears, DeMarco Jackson, was going to be visiting that classroom today. And so, unknown to them, they had no idea this was going to happen. He came into Churchill at 2 o'clock today, and we got a great video. I haven't seen it yet, but I was there when it was taken. He was standing outside. Miss Peacock is setting the stage that the kids have no idea, and they literally opened the door and walked in with him. He was an incredibly kind and gracious person. I don't know how else to put it. He was just really, really nice with the kids. Thanked them for writing letters. His wife came with their infant child, so it was just really neat. If you know anything about the NFL work week, today is their day off, right? So they have a game, they get a day off, and then it's back to preparing for the next game. And so he took his day off to come out and spend time with our 5th grade classroom. And just so you know, DeMarco Jackson, they had an injury during the game. The starting linebacker broke his ankle, unfortunately, but DeMarco Jackson is the one who stepped in to replace him during the game and played a fantastic game. And actually, he is the middle linebacker. So that is the person who is in charge of the defense. When you see them holding their hands up to their ears, that's because the coach is talking to them through the radio, and that is the middle linebacker who has that. So he is literally the most important part of that defense, and obviously we know there's another game coming this weekend. So look for number 48. That is DeMarco Jackson, and again, just a really, really kind person, and we appreciate him coming out today. That's it.
I did see the video. It was posted up on the district's Facebook page earlier today. So you can see Ms. Peacock and Marco Jackson getting ready to go into the room. So I caught it right before I commuted home. So it was really cool. It's really neat. All right. Moving on. We're moving on to the consent agenda items. First one is to authorize the chief school business official to pay the usual and customary bills for February 2026. Are any questions, comments about this item? Okay, next consent agenda item is the personnel report.
Yes, you can see the monthly items that we have on there. One thing I did want to mention specifically is Alma Gonzalez, who has been with us for just over 3 years now, working in the district office in transportation. Most parents would know Alma because if you have a bus concern and you pick up the phone to call, Alma is the friendly voice with whom you speak. And she is incredibly nice. Unfortunately, Flossmoor recognized that and they stole her away from us. In fairness to Flossmoor District 161, we stole her from them to begin with. So I guess turnabout is fair play. But we're really excited for Alma. This is a promotion for her, so we're excited for her to take this new responsibility there. But we're equally excited. We have somebody who's super, super talented, has worked here a long time, and that's Nona Rydell. Nona Rydell is the 12-month secretary at James Hart. And I say we collectively are excited. Miss Johnson, the principal at James Hart, is not so excited. But again, it's a great opportunity for Nona to be able to move into this role. We do have an opportunity to transition. Sometimes you get a resignation and a week later that person is gone. Here, Nona will be with us through spring break. So we have an opportunity not only to have her work with Nona as they transition, but also tomorrow we will be posting a vacancy for the 12-month secretary at James Hart, and Nona will be able to work with that person to help transition them into that new role. The other thing I'll mention, which is also under the employment section, during F&P we talked about in special education, specifically our students with some really, really high needs, and those are our daily living skills students. An incredible bunch of kids and equally incredible adults who work with them on a daily basis. A couple of years ago, maybe 5 now, the board made the decision to add a second DLS class at Willow School because, you know, the alternative for students who have that level of need is you either service them in-house or you find a facility that can best meet their needs off campus. Well, we realized, given the number of students we had, that we could effectively service them here. So the board supported the creation of a second DLS class at Willow. Well, as you know, kids get older, and as they get older, they move to Churchill. And so what we've seen are the numbers in our Churchill DLS class are now at the point where we just literally don't have any more space in that classroom. And so we want, in fairness to the students and in fairness to the adults in the classroom, to add a second DLS class to support their needs. And so that's on the personnel, you see the creation of that position. And then under employment, we are fortunate that we had an assistant who was with us a few years ago and is now available to return. So we're excited to recommend Riley Smith to fill that role as the second DLS teacher at Churchill.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? From the audience? Or if not,
I have a question. Is she certified in special education?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented in items 7A and 7B.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. McConaughey? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Moving on to our action agenda items. The first one is the second payment of December 2025 bills and the first payment of January 2026 bills. Are there any questions or concerns that have not been answered yet? If not, do we have a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official and the Board of Education that the Board of Education authorize the second payment of December 2025 bills and the first payment of January 2026 bills in amount not to exceed $2,696,939.10.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Congratulations. Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the school maintenance grant.
Yes. Dr. Turnberger, did you want to talk about the school maintenance grant?
Sure.
And the roofing bid?
Well, this is good.
Keep talking to the microphone, the camera.
So each year, the Illinois State Board of Education allows school districts to apply for a $50,000 matching maintenance grant. They have different criteria which they award that based on, life safety being their highest criteria. And since we just had our 10-year life safety amendment approved, I'm recommending the board that we apply for this grant to go towards some of the James Hart roofing work that we'll be talking about in the next agenda item.
Any questions from anybody on the board? Audience? All right, if not, do we have a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education approve the 2026 school maintenance grant application as attached.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item is to accept and award the bid for the James Hart roofing project.
Again, Dr. Turnberger.
In late December, we had a mandatory pre-bid meeting, which had 8 contractors show up and walk the roof and go over contract specifications. 6 companies submitted bids on January 7th. The low bid is from Ritterford Roofing in the amount of $3,187,150. Ritterford did the work at Churchill 2 summers ago, and we were quite pleased with that work. We were also quite pleased with these bids. We expected the number to be closer to $3.8 million. We had about $4.5 million in the life safety survey because it had to cover contingencies and architectural fees, which we do not pay on these projects. So I'm very excited that this project came in significantly under budget. So that's good news for the board that will free up future life safety dollars for other much needed projects.
Any comments from the board?
Good work, thank you.
I guess one thing that's probably worth noting is probably about 10 years ago, I think it was, we did replace a significant portion of the James Hart roof. So this repair is going to finish that project from a couple years, from 10 years or so ago. And so we should have some roofs that are going to last quite a long time from here on out. So that will complete, will be the last of the roofs that need to be done in Churchill. I'm sorry, in the district, then we can focus on some of the other life safety projects and stuff like that Dr. Trimberger has talked about and we've talked about in other board meetings. So moving forward with making sure that our buildings are in good shape going forward. So thanks to Dr. Trimberger and everybody for all the work and finding ways to get this job done, get the test done in a very cost-effective manner, and moving forward sooner than later with a lot of
So just as an aside, I can also report out that today we had pricing.
Sorry.
Thought it was done. We had pricing on our $8 million life safety bond issue that the board recently approved. The interest rate came in at 3.57%, which we're pleased. This was below the initial estimate of 3.71%, and that was because of the upgrade we received in our bond rating from Standard & Poor's from A+ to AA-. But the district's improved financial outlook, and it also enables us to get some very affordable bond insurance to help with those costs as well. So very pleased with the job that Elizabeth Hennessy and Mesro did on the bonds for the school board.
Yeah, I just want to say, Dr. Trimmer, again, I'll give you additional flowers. Your work is not unnoticed, and just simple things in regards to working directly with the roof manufacturer, pricing, and just the life safety bonds, and ensuring that we put things through that we think will be approved and so on, and the prioritization. So I appreciate all the work Chief put into this. Definitely notice it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. With that, do we have a motion?
Most certainly do. Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education accept the bid and award the James Hart Roof Project to Redford Roofing Company for the amount of $3,187,150 as attached.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Scully.
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Mr. Bosch.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is employment.
Again, I mentioned earlier, Riley Smith is the one name recommended for employment, DLS teacher at Churchill.
Any questions from the board, audience? Do we have a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education approve the employment of Riley Smith effective January 12th, 2026, upon the terms recommended by the superintendent, conditioned only upon receipt of a satisfactory criminal background report and upon receipt no later than February 1st, 2026, of evidence of proper legal qualifications for the position to be filled.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Popelka.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Mrs. Scully.
Yes.
Mr. Bosch.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next agenda item is discussion items. Is there anything anyone on the board would like to discuss?
Bears are playing the Rams. It sounded like we weren't aware of that. So the Bears and Rams will be playing next Sunday.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for
Just-
correcting me. You know what, I was getting confused with the time.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you. Do we have any written communication to the Board of Education?
No, that was it.
With that, next item is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Was there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Thank you.